Money out here, I spent so much money.
All right, you guys are live.
They can do that, probably is a good place to leave.
Hi Carrie, how are you? There we go.
Turn it up.
He's letting us know it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's on the road.
Yeah. Well, we do have some decisions there on the
So someone's shipping stuff.
I know, that was always, I said it every year.
Okay, according to the real world, not the clock on the wall, it's 6 o'clock, so we'll start the meeting. We call the meeting to order on March 25th. Roll call, we have Selectman Harold Goodwin, Mike Ransolilli, Cindy Jewett, Jamie Thurlow, and myself, Kevin Buck. Manager Chris Saunders, Stein Thorpe, Katie Dan Brand, and Elizabeth Beck. Adoption of the agenda, does anyone have any changes to the agenda? Okay, approval minutes, we have the minutes of March 18th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of Monday, March 18th.
Second?
We moved and seconded to approve the minutes of Monday, March 18th. Any discussion? All those in favor? Approval of warrants. We have warrant 100 for $180, 101 for $22,050, warrant 102 for $9,917.56, and warrant 103 for $10,605.05.
I make a motion to approve warrants 101 through 103.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve warrants 101 through 103. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I'll make a motion to approve warrant 100.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve warrant 100. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Regular business. Item A, we have a single-use carryout bag ordinance. We have a decision on that one, or?
Yep, so you can see on the versions that you have in your packet, I finally got the attorney's feedback. It took her a while to get back to me. So she added a couple paragraphs at the beginning to just further explain the purpose. And she carved out an exemption in the definition of store so that if items are for resale, then they would not be defined, if that's what they were selling, then they would not be defined as a store, and therefore they would not, this ordinance would not apply to them. So essentially it's saying wholesalers could continue to use plastic bags, and the same explanation applies to the polystyrene ordinance. And so I emailed back and forth with Carrie, so she'd be happy to share her thoughts on this. But whichever way you want to go, whether you want to have the exemption or not, just tell me, and I've got versions of each one available for your signature.
We don't have a lot of wholesalers, right? So.
I don't know if we have any wholesalers.
Right, right.
No, there's someone selling bread or something like that also.
Ye-
There's someone
Yeah.
selling-
Yeah, or seafood. If Richards or someone wanted to sell
Yes.
bag of scallops,
That's retail though.
it's depends on who they're selling to.
Yeah, I know, it's like, yeah. Yeah, to another company, yes.
Sure, I mean, I'm basically fine with whatever you all decide is best. Personally, for me, since it says in the original version and other merchant retailers that sell this for public consumption, the phrase about it not for resale seems redundant to me for resale and retail. And it also, to me, makes it sound a little more confusing, whereas when the first version to me was much really simple and clear. So that's just my thought. It doesn't seem necessary to me. It seems more adds to the nothing. That's what I'm gonna say about policy.
I think we should, just because, I mean, I just think if somebody, I mean, obviously there's people that sell seafood here. If somebody wants to wholesale it and ship it or send it out, they're not going to be sending it in a cardboard box or a paper bag.
Yeah, on the phone versions, there already is an exemption for food packagers that are packaging food to send out of town if they can do something.
But if they're a wholesaler, saying they have a box truck and they're delivering seafood, do they have to have it? Are they exempt from it as well? If they're delivering, say they're delivering to local restaurants in Bar Harbor or Southwest Harbor, and they need to. I just want to make sure that we're not.
Right, no, I just think that's what you're saying. I'm just looking at the items prepackaged in polystyrene for food service containers. Outside of Tremont, they can sold without repackaging items. And items to be shipped from outside of Tremont, they be packaged.
Or plastic.
You're talking the styrofoam ordinance, not the.
I
Yeah,
was,
we're
I
talking-
thought that's what.
No, we're talking
about.
specifically about, we got another article.
Okay. I guess with plastic bags, I mean, again, what if you decide to find it, but
I
you've
just.
already defined a single use carry out plastic bag, is a bag that's provided at the check stand that comes with sale for Yeah, it's not
May-
a major issue.
It's already a retail ordinance, in other words.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect wholesaling.
I don't think it does.
I just think we should specify that meat and seafood are exempt from it. I mean, anything else, vegetables, any other type of food, I can make sense to me, but I think if you start, I think we should just be a little specific with it.
Well, probably the thing to do, you just work with wholesaling anyway, right?
Right, and even if there isn't any in Tremont, who's to say somebody doesn't come here in the next 2 or 3 years and decide they want to set up something and they don't know how to sell it?
More pigs. So with an exemption.
Yeah, I would rather see it just with an
Just
exemption
the
than if you start specifying like seafood and stuff, then I think you're gonna get into a lot of, a lot of extra language that, make it all.
No, I don't think I want to specify specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it as wholesale.
Yeah, I think if it just covers wholesale in general.
And that would still allow, of course, our stores to stay with paper.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion on the wholesale again.
With the exemption, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay, I'll make a motion to certify and sign the single-use carryout bag ordinance, which does not include, no, does include an exemption for store selling items for resale, and to recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting.
Second?
Then moved and seconded to certify and sign a single-use carryout bag ordinance which includes an exemption for stores selling items for resale and to recommend passage on the warrant for the annual town meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, Paul Stein.
Same discussion.
Same.
But I think that,
What did you say, that one's already?
yeah, there's an exemption already in that one for packaging in styrofoam. Containers.
Right.
Shipping.
So including the exemption.
Yeah, I think it's already in there, you don't need to, you don't need to separate. Also,
Well, the attorney did make that distinction. And so if you look on the definition of establishment, and the one that says with wholesaler exemption, it has the words and not resale in that definition of establishment on page 1. And then if you look at the definition of establishment on the no wholesaler exemption version, it does not have those words. And that is what that is.
let's spell it all in for me.
Yep.
I don't know, strong preference either way.
What do you guys think?
I don't really know, I'm strong either way, really. I mean, I think if we're gonna be restrictive, I think we should be restrictive with the retail most. I think that-
Do you prefer with the exception?
Doesn't really matter.
Just to be clear.
Yeah, I mean, clarify.
Yeah.
I don't think it changes the legal.
Right.
So including the exemption. Okay, I'll make a motion to certify and sign the polystyrene and foam food service container ordinance, which includes an exemption for stores selling items for resale, and to recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to certify and sign the polystyrene and foam food service container ordinance, which includes an exemption for store selling items for resale and recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting. Any discussion? Okay, the next items, C through J, are all articles to be put on the warrant. And probably not going to bring them up specifically unless anyone wants to talk specifically about any of them. We'll do separate motions for each one. But if anyone gives to bring up any of the discussion, we can. If everyone's happy, we just make motions.
I think we've kicked them around enough over the past few months.
That's kind of what I thought. I mean, I can't see.
I mean, we pretty much know where everyone stands on it.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, when you get to the fireworks one, I now realize that my memo did go out of order. So the fireworks one is listed first under the
What about the zoning ordinance?
Then after that, it's in order. So the zoning ordinance is after polystyrene.
I couldn't tell the difference between those two maps.
Yeah, I can.
It's just a little.
Let's that one I might want to talk about a little bit.
Yeah, and we can take a field trip over to the larger.
I could see
map
one
there.
little section that's different, and that's it.
Yeah, when we get to there, I'll walk you through.
Well, I'll tell you, why don't we make motions on them then? And if anyone wants a discussion before we please motion, let's go for it.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to certify and sign the fireworks ordinance and to recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting.
Second,
Moved and seconded to certify and sign the fireworks ordinance and to recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, next one, the zoning ordinance. General zoning ordinance change.
I'll make a motion to certify and sign the zoning ordinance amendment and to recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to certify and sign the zoning ordinance amendment and recommend passage on the warrant for the annual town meeting. Any discussion?
Just changing just that one
Oh,
little
you know,
area.
the zoning map
Okay.
is a different
Okay,
section
yeah,
on the
that's fine.
agenda.
Yep,
We're not touching the zoning map yet.
I know, there's so many.
Yeah, that was like the rest, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's right. All in favor?
INJ. Next agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, item E, site plan review ordinance.
I'll make a motion to certify and sign the site plan review ordinance and to recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting.
second,
Been moved and seconded to certify and sign the site plan review ordinance and recommend passage on the warrant for the annual town meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor? Item F, wireless telecommunications facility ordinance.
Make a motion to certify and sign the wireless telecommunications facility ordinance and to recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting.
second,
Been moved and seconded to certify and sign the wireless telecommunications facilities ordinance and recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting. All those in favor? Okay. Item G, subdivision ordinance.
I'll make a motion to certify and sign the subdivision ordinance amendment and to recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to certify and sign the subdivision ordinance amendment and to recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. The property at assess clean energy, which is the PACE ordinance.
Oh, I
Yeah,
do.
I was gonna say.
Should it say pace ordinance there?
Got to change that one.
Okay, I will make a motion to certify and sign the pace ordinance and to recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting.
second,
Been moved and seconded to certify and sign the PACE ordinance And recommend passage on the warrant for annual town meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, two abstentions. Zoning map change, Shore Road.
All right, so I can talk first about this zoning map change. This is true for both zoning map change. Well, for this zoning map change, the Harbor Committee reviewed it on February 28th and recommended that it be placed on the warrant. And then the planning board also made the same recommendation. So if you look at the one, this is the Shore Road one. So if you can locate Shore Road, and it's easier in the inset on the map. Right at the northernmost point of Shore Road, you can see the beginning of a strip of dark red. And that continues for about 5, all the way to Little Island, and it goes up Little Island, and then there's a small parcel at the tip, on the tip of, one of the tips of Little Island. And then if you flip over to the proposed map, that same area that I just described is now blue.
So it would affect Little Island.
Yes. Yeah, I
This is proposed. That looks the same.
can't speak to the plan.
Should I vote on that?
I think we don't bring it up with.
You know the point of parcel 16, actually. Because it's on all of them.
No,
Oh,
I
I
know.
see it, I see it.
It's on.
You know the map of all of
Yeah, I
them.
didn't think it was.
Okay.
I was pretty sure it wasn't.
And you could certainly recuse yourself.
Makes no difference to me.
I just think we should protect the maritime activities in that area of town. We've got a pretty limited harbor. And I think if we change it, we're opening it up to residential development, and that's not really gonna necessarily be a great thing for the harbor there.
Not sure it's really gonna make any difference, to all residential, I think, except for one garden, but, again, I think in general principle, it's a good idea.
No, I agree with Mike on that. I didn't think it included Little Island when I was the planning board. I thought that it was off from there, but Little Island, the whole peninsula, because I have a parcel on there, is all commercial maritime. And I would hate to see that go away. I think it helps protect. And there's very little land left in the harbor, and helps protect that land and can be used in the future for future generations, and fishermen and boat builders or whatever. Yeah, it is. It's very, that's what, and
I mean, you look at somewhere like, say, Northeast Harbor, where they allow residential along the shore there, and there's no commercial activity anymore. They've got a town dock, and that's it, pretty much. I mean, they have Clifton Town Dock, but that's basically it. And if somebody had enough money and bought Clifton Town Dock and they had this ordinance change, they could build a house there, and that would be it. There'd be nothing for the fishermen.
no, I mean, I've been against it from the get-go, but I just think if you change, the only affected really parcel of land is the one that has that abandoned house on it. That's where this all came up. I think if we change a whole, zoning ordinance around, move stuff around for that one parcel, I just don't think that's right.
I think if it was for the benefit of the whole community, it's more important than the benefit for one parcel, and that's kind of how I have to think of it. I'm looking at what's the best for the town as a whole.
You have a couple decision points. First is, do you want this to appear on the warrant at all? And then the second one is, do you want to make a recommendation either for or against it?
I want to make a recommendation against it, and I don't want it placed on the warrant. That's how I feel right now, and I feel pretty strongly that way.
Well, I don't think I could vote either, because I have property in that zone too.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if, I was under the impression that my land was not in that zone. But looking at this map, I believe that, I mean, it's showing that it is, so I will step out for voting as well, just so there's clarity in it.
I just think it's I mean, yeah, this little island, it's part of it, and there's an abandoned building. But if you open it to development, the first thing that's gonna happen is someone's gonna take and there's gonna be some value to that property as a residence, and that's what they do. And I think Little Island could say the same thing. They might say, you know what, taxes are high, it's hard to run a commercial business here. We're gonna sell somebody who's got $3 million, they're gonna put a house there, and that's gonna be the end of it. And then we have nothing. I'll make a motion to not put the Shore Road zoning map change on the warrant, and can I do that as one, and not to and to recommend not to you do it, basically.
Yeah, the second
I
part
mean-
is irrelevant at
If
this
we
point.
don't put it on the warrant, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. it's
Right.
everything, yeah.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, not to put the zoning map change on Shore Road on the, town warrant. Any discussion? All those in favor?
All right, so the second one is, if you look at the two maps, so if you look at where, I think what's sometimes called Marsh Bridge, or I think the other name Adams Bridge. So this is the bridge that is leading into Southwest Harbor. There's two strips. There's a dark, if you look on the current map, there's a dark green strip north of it, and then there's a light green that's immediately south. That's Acadia National Park. Nothing's changing there. And then directly under that light green is a dark green strip. And then if you look at the proposed map, both of those dark green strips have been flipped to yellow. The effect of this is from resource protection to limited residential shoreline. And the explanation, John Larson, the code enforcement officer, reached out to the DEP to ask if they cared whether that was resource protection, and they don't care. They said this is not sensitive land. They have no reason that they're trying to keep it completely undeveloped. They don't care. This doesn't change any of the zoning in Acadia National Park, and it just allows the property owners who own land along there able to build structures in that area as long as they're set 250 feet, I think it's 250 feet back from the water. So that's the effect of that.
I don't have a problem with that one.
I don't think I do. I guess it's not gonna do anything bad for the view down there at the bridge, is it?
I mean,
That's the most photographed area in town, but,
I mean,
50 feet back from the water, I don't think you can see that.
well, it's a lot of marsh there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of marsh grass probably along the edge.
The biggest thing, as long as we're not changing something to benefit one parcel of land, you know, that's the only thing that I just want to make sure that we're not.
How many landowners in there, Chris? And who
well,
are they?
In the memo, sorry, if you look on the draft warrant, it spells out all of the tax maps and lots, and so you can figure out from there. So it's Article 43. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
The town of Tremont being one of them?
Town of Tremont's one of them. But we're not trying to do it from that.
I don't feel strongly really either way on it. That's kind of how I start to feel.
So just to clarify, since I said it, I want to make sure that there's not confusion. I'm looking at the limited residential shoreland description on shore frontage in the version of the zoning ordinance that you're just certified. It says 150-foot minimum per lot, that's shore frontage length. And per residential dwelling unit located within 250 feet of the upland edge of a coastal wetland or within 75 feet of the shoreline between 200-foot minimum per lot and per residential dwelling unit located within shoreline zone of any other water body or freshwater wetland. The setback is 15 feet from lot lines, 75 feet from the upland edge of the wetland. 100 feet from the normal high water line of any great pond, and 75 feet from the shoreline of a stream.
So that on wetlands or stream.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where it is in this.
Okay. So, correction 100%.
Okay, I will make a motion to recommend adoption of Article 43 on the 2019 annual town meeting warrant to change the zoning of land near Marsh Bridge from resource protection shoreland to limited residential shoreland.
Second,
Been moved and seconded to recommend for adoption of Article 43 on the 2019 town meeting warrant to change the zoning of land near Marsh Bridge from resource protection shoreline to limited residential shoreline. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, and then certify the annual town meeting warrant.
No, you're just looking at, yeah, sorry. Because I have to change it now that we've taken off Article 42.
So what's on the 42? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll add in this, you can see all the recommendations on blank, so what you, I didn't know that you give me recommendations. You did. Any other issues?
But it was the final version.
Yeah, the only, I think the only other one, I had mentioned we've had a previous discussion about the EMR contract. And so you can see that's Article 47. And it just way asks voters to authorize you to sign an EMR or to authorize you to authorize me to sign an EMR contract. And then Article 48 describes the road improvement program. And that essentially just says that this reserve exists for capital road improvements.
me too.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did the motion in there, I forgot. My mistake. Really good. Well, it's just to approve the draft, it's just, you guys didn't have anything.
I make a motion to approve the draft warrant for annual town meeting.
Second.
Well,
Does that have to be as amended
And,
then?
yeah, as amended.
yeah, that's what we said.
Oh, sure, you can say yes, amended.
Yeah, as
It's been moved and seconded to approve the draft warrant for the annual town meeting.
amended.
As amended. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I'll have you sign it on the next one then.
Okay, item L, tree warden. John, contribution, please. Something that's necessary.
I don't think so. make a motion to request town manager to no longer research the position for tree warden.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to request the town manager no longer to research the position of tree warden. Any discussion? All those in favor? Item N, Harvey Kelly Lane. I saw a really neat photo of it. I thought it was something that might be good to have on the wall there. So I'm good with it. Getting a personal meeting on it, so. I thought I'd mention that to everyone else.
I don't feel it's necessary.
I don't know.
Thought you might like it, Mike. What trees?
I don't have a problem checking into it, seeing, how much would cost this little.
As long as we-
Got any reason for it? Or you know it?
I'll misquote it if I did. I thought it was good. The society grows greater when old folks, you used to say old men, I'm trying to make it look like people say. I'll read it down. Society grows greater when old folks plant trees in whose shade they know they shall never stay. I like some of them myself personally. I thought it might look nice right up there. On the wall. I'm sure I can get it done very easily if my daughter does.
Let's look into it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it
No, I didn't see it.
doesn't cost. It's kind of drab. I don't think,
If anyone else has any other ideas for anything else to do?
Yeah, upgrade the lights to LED.
No,
Oh, you mean down here?
No,
Yeah.
I meant for a saying on the wall, if we were
Oh.
gonna look into it, should we, does anybody else have any ideas for one? Do you want time to think about having ideas for one, just
I mean,
I love it.
let's see what let's see what's gonna entail, I guess. Doesn't hurt, right?
okay, then I'll make a motion to request the town manager to research costs and means of placing the above statement on the wall behind the select board table in Harvey Kelly. That's just research.
It's been moved and seconded to request the town manager to research cost and means of placing the above statement on the wall behind the select board table. Item N, Tremont Road maintenance. You can give us a summation because I haven't.
Sure, yeah, I know, I sort of flashed through the handouts. I had two sort of lines of inquiry that I've been working on related to Tremont Road maintenance. So the first one was, could the town have an agreement with MDOT where we could make repairs if we could do it more quickly than they could? And so you can see a handout, and they said, in short, yes. And so one of the handouts for tonight is a cooperative agreement that we could sign with MDOT where we could do potholes, ditches, et cetera. We have to have what are called assignment letters, so they approve what we're doing in advance and a cost estimate of what that would be. But that would just be usually
The only thing I see with that is a lot of that stuff, when it needs to be done, it needs to be done right now. And if we send somebody out there to do it, and then we send them a report in that says, this is how much, this is what we spent, this is what it was, and they decide they don't want to pay us, we're stuck with a bill.
Yeah.
And I don't,
Yeah, so assignment letters, I spoke with the guy today, he said, if you agree to this, I've got 4 points of contact, so I can just go through my list and call them and hope to, get approval quickly. Because they understand this is exactly what you're saying. It's meant to be an expedited process. It's not supposed to be something that takes a long time.
And they'll reimburse.
Then they'll reimburse.
I think it should only be for minor projects. I don't think it should be anything,
I do too. Yeah, I think that,
I mean,
That's a question.
yeah.
I mean, if it's like a major project and
Yeah.
we don't
I
have the
mean,
equipment or
if
the
they can
guys.
put a
to do
culvert
it.
across the road, then they gotta do it, because we're not,
if we're
That's their
talking-
responsibility. We don't want to be responsible for it.
I mean, it's really their responsibility to begin with, so.
And they understand that this is a second choice. The first choice is that they do all the work themselves.
So for example, I'll use this winter as an example. So we've got some areas in town that have had we had some severe blocking of ditches and ice build up where ditches hadn't been dug out or the road was too low. Are we just gonna say next winter, we're gonna take pictures of it, of our workers out there fixing it and hope they pay us, or?
Well, I think,
Because I mean, I was kind of disgusted with how
I mean,
some areas of
did-
town,
we
and
did-
our roads weren't as bad as theirs.
We did quite a bit of ice removal for them already, which is up to them to do.
well, this is where it gets to be a gray area, because snow and ice removal is supposed to be on the town's.
But if it's caused by a ditch that is froze up, it's their problem, not
Yep.
ours.
And I almost think I think we should almost have you send them a bill and see where it goes. See what they're really, see what they're made of on it. Because if they're not gonna cover us for this last cleanup, who's to say they're gonna cover us next year when we have a problem?
Well, I just worry about damaging relationships, if people who are, being.
I don't.
I prefer to at least try it for everyone, so you can respond, within an hour or two. Something like that, something that you can do. At least give it a shot.
You did I took some photos, you took some photos. Why couldn't we try to send them a bill and just see what happens? Just say, this is our pilot run with this. Because,
The process that's laid out in here is that there has to be an assignment letter before they will agree to reimburse, and that happens before the work.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
so on a Saturday, if things freeze up out here, we're stuck with a bill.
Well, that's why I said I think there are four points of contact, and I think that covers, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be at 3 in the morning, but
And it's better than what we've had before. We haven't had this option
Yeah, we
in the
haven't had
past,
any.
and at least now, I agree with Howard, I don't want to get into.
What type of
big
insurance can we
projects, but I think
get
that-
from them that they're going to fix the areas in town that really need it? I guess that's my next question.
are you talking about
Insurance.
major construction or?
Yeah.
So that's, I can move on to that one. So the second line of inquiry has been, what are we gonna do about major construction? So areas like right outside the store, that we know that the road needs to be built up, that there's reconstruction that has to happen. And so the way that they handle this is through the municipal partnership initiative, the MPI program. And this might sound familiar because this is the program that funded the reconstruction of Tremont Road from the school up to Bernard Road. And so the way, and I put a description of this program.
Funding is a generous description of that activity. but okay.
50-50. So it's a 50-50 grant program, the town has to match 50-50. And the state caps their match at $500,000. So that essentially, in my mind, puts a cap of $1 million on any project. And so to me, that would be funded through the same way as any of our other major road reconstruction projects out of the new road equipment program.
And you would apply for that?
Yeah, you would apply for that and it takes.
I mean, you as a town manager would apply, I guess. is what I'm
Well, I would
getting
do your approval, but yes, I would handle the grant application process. In order to program in the timing for the funding, it has to be submitted usually a year or two before the work actually happens. So you're saying that the fiscal year 2020, they have assigned all of their money and then a couple projects dropped out. So that's the kind of thing, that if they projects drop out, then they might be able to fit you in. But, if you wanted to, just get on a fresh year, then programming after 2021.
But there might be some short-term things they could do, like maintenance. We could try to send them a letter and say, these are some areas that could really use some ditching and some road work. Even if you're not gonna rebuild the road,
Yes.
can you at least give us a little help here?
So their commitment for maintenance, for ongoing maintenance, is ditching, culverts, and light paving every 7 years. So that's what they do.
I'd like to see us start with just, like Evan said, just start with potholes and start with ditches that are currently, you know, that are overflowing in the road. If there's an instant issue, if there's something for us to go out, fix it, because it's an emergent thing, and then see how it goes from there.
I think the best way to do that is with the tool.
Yeah.
Authorize me to sign it tonight?
I'll make a motion to authorize the town manager to sign the State of Maine Department of Transportation Cooperative Agreement with the DOT for the town of Tremont.
Second?
Then moved in second, to request the town manager. To sign the cooperative maintenance agreement with the Maine DOT. That's all very much.
That's pretty much what I said, but
That's what I thought. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Town manager's report.
So major emphasis of the last week, preparing this warrant. I attended a local housing needs forum in Augusta, preparing tonight's agenda, and then I attended the manager meeting up in Bangor. Some minor projects, updating the plastic bag and polystyrene ordinances with all that attorney feedback. I had a number of phone calls with John Devon at MDOT regarding the maintenance agreement and the MPI program. Figuring out solar array bills. I met with a Hancock County Sheriff's Office deputy. We went through the temporary police logs together and went with lots of their jargony abbreviations. I submitted the property and casualty insurance renewal application and reviewed the purchase agreement for the fire truck today, and it should be around the cost of that truck should be on next week's warrant. The office staff are continuing to practice with the new Trio data that we're running right now, and should be a couple, 3 or 4 more weeks of practicing, and then we'll go live. Katie attended an inland fisheries and wildlife training, and we are looking at ordering new chairs for the select board table. We do want to test drive one of those. You can head down to the Harbor Master Shack. Public Works projects, working on Hodgson Road, Ferner Road, Cape Road, and Harbor Drive. They got out the culvert on the south end of Cape Road so that water can get into there. Ordered signs for lighthouse posts for the lighthouse road, no parking signs. So as soon as the ground thaws, those signs should be able to go in. And Josh is practicing driving the big truck, so we can get ready for a CDL test. Harbor Master we finished sanding and painting the hull of the boat, getting ready for launching floats. That should be starting this week. He's also researching the wharves at Stonington Field and Downport to see what their process was for building the granite wharf. This is a long-term project. And then he met with Marine Patrol. And some priorities for the next week is I'll be going to a legal town meeting tomorrow. On Wednesday, I'll be attending an effective meeting management training in Augusta. Thursday will be the Bridge Progress meeting, and also Thursday will be
Thanks, Chris. Suggestions for the next meeting? Next meeting date.
I'll make a motion to confirm the date of the next regular meeting on Monday, April 1st, 2019, 6 p.m. at the town.
second.
Been moved and seconded to have our next meeting on Monday, April 1st, 2019, at 6 o'clock in the town office.
Second.
All those in favor?
I know who wonder about
Gotcha, so
YouTube
fair
is.
enough. Thanks, Tom.
My brother-in-law, who keeps on.
No, really?
Pretty idiot.
Recycle.
Recycle it. If you go to the side.
Did it get knocked over again?
No, but if you come in this way,
Yeah.
it reads it too.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to put it down a little further so that you pick it up.
Oh, if you're just going straight down Harvard Drive and you don't even go down Flatiron Road,
Yeah.
it still picks it up.
That was it when I was.
Okay, so that makes for a lot more staff. Okay, good to know. Well, I told the staff about the beginning of the month, so I'll keep that in
I
mind.
didn't know if you just put it down the road a little further.
Yeah, I think- I wanted it, on the one hand, I wanted to ramp up the limit signs so you can see it, and it's so close to the beginning of the road, that you're probably already going less than 35, but you're coming off a 25 mile an hour. So, I wish it was farther down there, long as one, but live and learn.
Yeah.
I have complained about that too.
Yeah,
The 12 and the 26.
yeah.
I'd leave it till the
Oh, yeah.
I said, well, consider your complaint properly noticed and, officially.
Big say, come on. Got other, I got bigger fish to fry.
This is the last meeting.
I thought it's now 50.
Guys, later.
See ya.
Yeah, can we go down and make sure?
This will be recorded, you know.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Still live. but, you know, we're gonna-
No, we know where it's gonna go, and it's okay, Bruce.